All right, we have a flexibility mobility session this morning. It is going to be foundational. So we're going to hit all the things, um, great for all levels. So we are going to start on the floor with a couple stretches. You are going to need a mat. You're also going to need either a wall or that bench. So we're going to start laying on our stomach. We're going to do some crocodile breathing. So go ahead and make your way to your stomach. We are going to place that forehead on those hands. And we are just going to inhale and exhale through our nose. So we're going to inhale through our nose, slow. And then we're going to exhale through our nose. If you need to do some light mouth breathing through that exhale, you can. Otherwise, we're inhaling through that nose, slow and controlled, and then exhaling through that nose as well. Taking some big, deep inhales, some deep exhales. Good. That head is resting on those hands. Those ribs are against that mat. We're just kind of chilling out that nervous system. Mobility functions better when that nervous system is um, calm. So we're now going to take it to our back. So you're going to have that 90-90 breathing now. So again, if you have that wall, you can just put those feet around that wall, or you can have that bench or that chair, anything that's close. So we are going to place those hands on those ribs. This way, this one, lowering that back, pushing those hips into that mat. We're going to breathe in through our nose, and then you are breathing out, trying to fog the mirror, okay? So as you breathe out through that mouth, think about how your mouth is close to that mirror. You want to fog the mirror. As you fog that mirror, as that breath is coming out, you'll feel that core sink into that mat, those ribs collapse. As you inhale, you're filling that belly with air. Again, slow and controlled. We are just finding our breath to start us off. Focus on allowing that mirror to be fogged up through each exhale. Relax that body. One last one, in through your nose. Exhale. One last fog. Good. All right. You can rock and roll it up. We are going to a half kneeling position. We are going to get into those hip flexors now. So I'm going to start with that right knee down, that left knee up. I'm going to bring that hand overhead for that reach. I have a neutral pelvis. We are just reaching overhead with that opposite hand. Glutes are squeezed, ribs are stacked. We're going to release. Bring it back up overhead. Again, focusing on that breath. Release. Up overhead. Reaching. So the knee that is down is the hand that's reaching. Relax. Last one. Holding at the top, keeping that neutral pelvis. And relax. We are getting into that rock, so we're rocking forward. and back, sitting into that heel. Good. Sitting forward. Nice job. Good. All right, we are going to then just go into a slight lean, same thing, reaching and release. So the knee that is down and this the hand that is reaching, reach and release, reach, slight bend and release. Good. Go ahead and take it to that other side. Left knee is down now. Right leg is up. We're just going to extend it overhead, lengthening that torso, slight hold at the top, and we release. Extend, slight hold, and release. Again, thinking of that neutral pelvis, and release. One last one. Glutes continue to stay squeezed, ribs are stacked, and release. So we are shifting it back and forward. We're not over rocking through this. You are moving through those hips, not through that low back. Shift those hips back, bring them forward, shift back, bring forward. Good, last one. Then we're going into those side bends. Back to neutral. We reach as we bend. Back to neutral, reach. Not overextending through that bend. Side bend. Release. Bend. And release. Good. We're going back to that first side. So the knee that's down, this leg is now stepping out, okay? So we're just gonna hit a little different angle in those hip flexors. So this one, same thing. We are bringing that hand up overhead and down. Up overhead and down. Last one. Gonna feel it a little deeper in this position. Now we are getting those rocks back, forward, back, forward. Again, not overextending. This time, this opposite hand's gonna bend and release. Bend. Good. So slight bend. Last one. Good. And stop. We're gonna switch so that left knee comes down. Now that right leg shoots out. We are gonna, again, opposite side, we are gonna reach overhead and release. Reach, keeping that body nice and tall. Neutral pelvis. Glutes are squeezed. Ribs are stacked. Good. From here, we're gonna get those rocks backward and forward. So everything we're working today is foundational, allows us to move, to continue to work those mechanics in everything we do. Shift back, forward, last one. This time, that right arm with the leg that's out is extending through that bend. Back to center. Slight bend. nice and upright. Bend. And we bend. Good, final one. And stop. All right, so now if you have that band, I would say that band that you use for Pilates, I want you to grab that. So it can be a super light one. If you do not have a rubber band, you can also use a fabric band. It's going around that foot. We're going to get into some hamstring stretches now. So as we lay it back, right leg is on the floor, left leg extends up, and we're going to lower. Up. Good, you can have that soft bend. As you lower and extend, you're going to feel it through that hamstring. We lower, extend. Good. Isolating through that hamstring stretch, you're going to start to feel that shake. Just allowing that tension through that band. Lower and lift. From here, we are going to that bend and extend, so placing those hands behind that knee. So you're feeling that stretch. We bend 90 degrees, extend, keeping that foot flexed. We slow on the bend, up overhead. Again, this stretching through any of these moves, it should never hurt. Okay, you should feel that tighten. Feel that hamstring being worked. Final one. And release. All right, we are going to that left side now. That band's around that foot. So we lower, lift, feeling that stretch. Again, that leg does not have to be locked out. Soft bend through that knee. Stretching, allowing that tension through that band. Stretch, good. Everyone's range of motion is going to be different. Last one. And release. Feeling that shake through those hamstrings. The hands are interlaced, locked behind that knee. We feel that stretch. Then we lower to 90 degree, releasing. Then extend. Foot stays flexed. Bend. Extend. Good. Slow and controlled through that lower. Then we extend it, feeling that stretch. Lower. Stretch. Final one. Stretch and release. Good. Now we're gonna rock and roll it up to stand. We are doing a forward fold, so we're gonna slow hinge it down. Forward fold it down, feeling that stretch through that hamstrings, and we're dropping that butt into that squat, dropping those hips, bending those knees, popping it back up to that forward fold. Staying in that forward fold, we drop that butt, bend those knees, popping it back up into that forward fold. Dropping, bend those knees, lift those hips for that forward fold. Through that forward fold, you're not bending or you're not straightening or locking out those knees. You're keeping that soft bend. So forward fold. We drop that butt. We extend, staying in that forward fold, nice flat back. Forward fold, drop that butt. forward fold, and then we're gonna slowly stand it up, okay? We're going back down, going through that all one more time, finding that band, putting it around that foot. Right leg is extended, left leg has that soft bend. So we lower, and then we come up, feeling that tension through that hamstring, through that band. That band is allowing us to get into that hamstring stretch. At the top, good. Lower, slowly. Again, never locking out those knees. Feeling that stretch. Extending it up overhead. Good. Each time you come back to the top, you might feel you getting a little bit easier through that stretch, a little more range of motion. And release. Lose that band, hands come interlocked, which behind that leg. We 90-degree lower, foot is flexed. Extend it up, pulling it in, feeling that hamstring stretch. Slow on the lower, relaxing, releasing that stretch. Then we extend. Good. Shake is normal. Extend. Lower. Extend. And release. All right, that band goes around that foot of that opposite. Again, left leg is now straightened, right leg has that soft bend. We lower. Then we bring it to the top, feeling that stretch through that hamstring. Everyone's range of motion is going to be different. Again, we're not rushing through these reps. Slow and control on the lower. Each time that foot comes up, you'll feel a little deeper into that hamstring. Final one. And release that band. Fingers interlocked, feeling that stretch. We bend to 90, foot stays flexed. Extend up. Good. Slow and controlled. Back up, feel that stretch. Stretch. Again, shake is normal. Final one. And release. We're gonna rock and roll it up. You are now coming to stand. We're doing that forward fold. So slow bend over, forward fold. Holding that forward fold. We drop that butt. Extend back up into that forward fold. Hold it, feeling that stretch through that hamstrings, nice flat back. Core is pulled in. We drop that butt. Pop it back up. Dropping those hips into that squat. Bend those knees. Then we extend back into that forward fold. We have two more. Drop that butt. Extend back up. Last one. Those hamstrings are shaking. Back up, forward fold, flat back, soft bend through those legs, and we slow roll it up. All right, now we are moving to the floor. We are doing some thoracic work. So you're going to come to all fours. That right hand comes behind that head, that elbow is going to drop, and then we're going to open it up. Go ahead and join me. So elbow drops, then we open, drop, rotating, opening it up, drop, and open, drop, and open. Good. I think that was 6. Let's move to the other side. Left hand now. We drop. We open. So we have 3 exercises in this group. Drop that elbow. You're looking through, opening up. We're going to do right, left, right, left. Open. Drop that elbow. Open it up. Last one. And open. Back to all fours, okay? So making sure that core is pulled in, that belly button is pulled in. You're long through those arms. We are going to go to that right side again. Elbow or hand behind that ear. We drop. We rotate as we open. Drop. Open. Good. Rotating through that spine. Again, controlled movement. Lower that elbow and open. Back to all fours, moving to that other side, right hand or that left hand. Elbow drops, opening it up. There's 1. There's 2. Elbow drops, open for 3. Drop, open for 4. Elbow drops, opening up for 5. And last one, elbow drops, opening it up for 6. All right, go ahead and shake those arms out if you need to. We're going to thread the needle. So again, on all fours, that right arm, I'll demonstrate from the front, that right arm, you're going to exhale into that stretch. So that right arm pulls, extends through. We're dropping that shoulder, keeping those hips high, and we pull it back to all fours. Exhale on that through. Lower. Back to all fours. There's 2. Thread the needle. There's 3. There's 4. Last one. Just kidding. There's 5. We have 1 more. Thread the needle. Keep those hips high. And 6. Going right into that other side. Again, exhaling on that through motion. Find all fours. Left arm drops through. Again, hips stay high. Still finding that rotation. Drop it through. Back to all fours. Keep those hips high. All fours, final one. And stop. We are moving to that other side 1 more time. 6 and 6, threading that needle. Right arm drops through, lowering that shoulder. Hips stay high. There's 1. Thread the needle. Right arm is doing the moving. Thread it, drop that shoulder. Feel those hips stay high. Rotating through that thoracic spine again. We have 2 more on this side. Thread it through. Last one. And release. Now that left arm goes through. Ready? And go. So thread it through, dropping that shoulder, keeping those hips high. Back to center. Drop it through, back to all fours. Two more. We drop that shoulder, pulling, pushing that hand through. Hips stay high. And stop. All right, we are now coming to the floor. We're doing that open book. So the knees are gonna stay stacked. So knees are stacked. Those arms are also stacked. We're opening up. As we open up, we're looking at that arm, okay? So we're looking through that hand all the way till it meets, if it can meet the floor on the other side, that's where I want it. If you do not have that range of motion, go as far as you can. Open up that book. Last one. Slow and controlled, good. And we are rolling it to that other side. You can flip it, or you can do what I am doing, just so I can see that screen. So again, hips stay stacked. We open as we look through. Following that hand all the way back. Opening it up. So those knees are going to slightly rotate through that open, trying to keep those hips stacked, but you will have that slight rotation through that lower body. Nice. Opening it up. Last one. Open. Looking through. And meet. Good. All right. Other side. We have that right, left one more time in this one. Ready? So again, following that arm, opening it up. If you can meet that floor, meet that floor. There's one. Open it up. Hips stay stacked. There's two. Following that arm, there's three. There's four. There's five. Slow and controlled, follow it. And six. Roll it, move it to the other side. Final six on this open book. Ready, hips stacked, open it up, follow that arm. There's one. Focus on that breath. There's two. There's three. Stay with my pace. There's four. Hips stay stacked. There's five. And six. All right, we're gonna roll it to our back. We have 10 reps of 2 exercises before we breathe to finish out. So we are gonna do a glute bridge, okay? So we are shifting those hips down Engaging those glutes. We're slow and controlled through that lift. Pulling those ribs in, lower and lift. Those feet are grounded. 2, lift, squeeze, don't overextend. We are slow and controlled and lift. There's 4, we're going to 10. Lift, slow and controlled. There's 5. Keeping that core pulled in. Lift. There's 6, making sure those glutes are activated the entire time. Lift. There's 7. Lower. Feet are pressed into that mat. There's 8. Lower. We have 2 more. Lift. Squeeze. There's 9. Don't overextend at the top. Lower. And we're lifting. Squeezing. Lowered. There's 10. We are going into dead bugs. You can either have that bent knee or you can have that straight. We are alternating for 10. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. Opposite arm and leg. There's 5. There's 6. 7. 8. Keeping that core pulled in. There's 9. And 10. All right, we are just finishing with some breathing. So one hand on that stomach, one hand on that heart or that chest. We are just doing some deep breathing to finish out. In through your nose, out through your nose, then in through your nose, out through your mouth. Good. Couple more. And release. Rock and roll it up. You are done. Have a good day.